Great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very last step session of the summer. Whether this is your 20th step session or you're just joining us for the first time, we're so glad you're here. This is something that we didn't end up adding in our first year of STEP, but added in last year because we realized we tell you about all these great services and all these great things available to you around campus, and we didn't talk about what we offer specific for transfers at the hub. So our goal is to give you a somewhat brief but really holistic presentation on all we do at the Transfer Hub to support you guys. And once that's done, this can feel like an exciting and also an anxiety-inducing time. So if you have burning questions, we have peer coaches that are here and we'll do a live Q&A at the end. If you're someone who's worried about forgetting your question between now and 3:20, please feel free to use that Q&A box at the bottom. And we won't touch them until our Q&A at the end. But if you want it just out of your mind so you can focus on the presentation, go ahead and feel free to start dropping them there. And we will address them live at the very end. And with that, I'm so excited to introduce you to our team who's here to support today. I'll start with myself. Hi, my name's Tessa. I am the assistant director here at the Triton Transfer Hub and so excited to see you all in person in just a few weeks and to get this all started. And with that, I'll pass to Allie.
Thank you so much, Tessa. Hi, everyone. My name is Allie Shalmi, and I am the transfer retention specialist with the Hub. I myself was a transfer student, and so you guys are in a good space being here, and we're really excited to support you throughout the next 2 years.
Hi, everybody. My name is Elizabeth. I'm the Research and Involvement Coordinator at the Triton Transfer Hub. If you've been watching stuff, you've probably seen me in a couple of the Transfer Talk webinars and also the Research and Involvement series. So yeah, really excited for all of you to start in a couple of weeks. And yeah, with that, I will pass it on to our student staff for their intros, starting with On.
Hi, my name is An. I am a peer coach for the next academic year. I transferred from San Diego State University last year and I majored in data science. My college is near, and my favorite thing about UCSD is the Triton Transfer Hub because I was able to make a lot of friends and connect with my community throughout the past academic year.
Hi, my name is Cameron. I'm one of the previous peer coaches. I was just helping out the transition for summer. But I was in Revelle College and I was a human developmental sciences major. And my favorite thing about UCSD actually came during my spring semester or spring quarter where I took part in a lettuce eating competition in front of Geisel. Great stuff.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm one of your peer coaches for the upcoming academic year. I transferred from UC Berkeley, and my major is developmental psychology in Sixth College. And my favorite thing to do is get coffee from Art of Espresso.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rion, and I am a poli-sci major as well as a poli-sci peer coach coming in. I transferred from Southwestern College from the California Community College District. My current UCSD college is 7th, and my favorite thing about UCSD that's happened and that I've been a part of was Triton Gaming Expo, where we just had a whole breadth of different sponsors, gaming events. I got to meet people from Smosh and different voice actors at the event, and we're hosting it every year. So that is always something that I look forward to and love being a part of helping out with.
Well, thank you so much for all of our peer coaches. I am going to go ahead and just get us started. So we are just a part of the Transfer Hub team. We are missing 2 of our summer folks who would usually be joining us. And then in a couple weeks, we'll be a team of 17 in total for the year. So we have 14 student staff and 3 professional staff who are all be excited and around during week 0 and beyond to meet and support you. So know that more peer coaches are coming. I'm trying to change slides and I don't know why it's not going. There we go. So what is the Transfer Hub? one thing, I'm going to show you a long slide that talks about our mission statement, but what I really want to make sure that you are all aware of is that the Transfer Hub is here to support you holistically. So it's not just you as a student, but it's you in terms of making friends as a transfer student here on campus. It's you in activating your research goals or preparing for career or getting connected with internship. It's really making sure that we're providing you with holistic support and caring about you as a whole person. I think if I had to sum all of our mission statement into a phrase, there's a lot here for you at UCSD. And if you don't know where to start with us and we will pass you to whatever office you need, whether that's a peer coach or one of our pro staff. We are really well connected on campus, and one of our main things that we can support you in is making sure that you're getting connected to the right resources and places, because that can often feel like the most overwhelming thing as you come in to UCSD.
All right, so now I'll talk about some of the history of the Triton Transfer Hub. So this all began in 2018 with advocacy where transfer students and UCSD staff alike wanted a space to support transfer students. So the start actually began in 2019 with one program manager and only 4 peer coaches, where they opened a space in the biomed library about 4 cubicles big. So then 3 years later, by 2022, things got bigger and better for us. The hub now had 3 professional staff, 2 grad student assistants, and 10 peer coaches, and moved into a larger office, which is the space we're in today. But looking to the future in 2026, we will now be homed in a larger space. The space will be in the new Triton Center, and have 2 stories and event spaces for students.
And we're going to give you a little overview of our center right now. There's going to be a little video playing. It's not going to match up with what I'm saying, but that'll give you a good idea of what I'm talking about. So the first thing, when you first walk in, there is a living room that has a lot of charging spaces and seating options for you to, charge your devices, hang out, and study. We also do offer free blue books. We have a printer in there for you to use 10 pages, black and white, for free every week, as well as Scantrons. And we also have a snack bar, a coffee and tea bar, and other stuff available in that beginning room as well, all for you to use. And as we walk through, you will see that there are storytellers on the wall. These are different submissions that have come from different transfer students who have submitted to our Storytellers Scholarship. And we also have 2 reservable study rooms, the first of which is a quiet study room that has room for 1 to 5 people in case you wanted to do some solo studying or you have a smaller group with your friends, as well as the conference room, which houses up to 12 people. Or if you just want to look fancy on an interview, you can definitely hang out in there. And our other resource for you guys is a kitchenette, where we have a full fridge, we have a microwave, a sink where you can do your dishes. You can keep your lunches in there. And we also offer different free resources like different canned goods, thanks to the food and pantry, as well as different snacks that other people will bring in for the whole hub to share. So that is a little overview of what we have to offer in our physical space.
And if our rooms aren't reserved, those are open study areas. So a lot of folks who commute or have an awkward length of time between classes will spend time, either if they want quiet study, they'll be in that smaller space, or spend time in our conference room, chatting with others, and then also working on homework in there. Please know that since you're all just starting this year, you'll be in our bigger space, which will have 8 rooms that are similar to our quiet study space in our conference room now, that will be reservable, and also a meditation and nap room with a nap pod. So this is what you have for your first year here as a transfer, but come next summer for your next year, it is a whole new world. So this video will look very different a year from now.
Okay, we have a couple of areas where you'll be able to learn about our events in our space and other updates on social media. So we use the main Instagram, TikTok, and Discord to kind of promote our events and other collaborations with other resources. We also have a weekly newsletter that will be sent And you will also be receiving like weekly coaching emails from our office, depending on what major you're in. And then we have our website where you'll be able to access resources for research, involvement, events, and etc. And if you have any like additional questions or just like overall general questions about anything, you can send us an email through our tritontransfers@ucsc.edu.
And then we also have a very robust website, which is transferstudents@ucsd.edu. And this is really organized by if you're a new student and trying to find new things or academic support. So always feel like that's a place that you can stop as well. And then you will all be auto-opted into a newsletter. So every Monday, we have a partially staff and partially student staff run newsletter that we really are intentional about sending to you each and every Monday of the year. You'll get so many different emails as a student, but we try to really tailor that down to the things that you need to know as a transfer and keep it relevant just for you. By being a transfer entry, you're auto-enrolled to receive that newsletter weekly.
So in this next slide, I'll walk you through our stable events that happen annually.
Working on loading, so go ahead and tell us about week 0 on.
Okay, yeah. So let's start with week 0. Week 0 is week full of exciting events, including the new student orientation, move-in day, and a lot of traditional UCSC events like Triton Olympics, Triton Fest, and First Friday. And on top of that, there are many events hosted by different orgs across campus. So in celebration of week 0, we also host 2 exciting events for you to connect with your fellow transfer, and Cameron will go in depth more in the next slide. Instruction won't start until September 25. So week 0 is which is start on September 22. It's just a great time to explore campus, meet with new people, and get comfortable in your new environment. Later in the fall, around the 3rd week of the quarter, the fall quarter, we'll celebrate the National Transfer Student Week. This is a week-long series of events designed to support transfer students in their transition. The major highlight of this week is the Transfer Resource Fair, where different centers across campus table to share resource, answer questions that you may have, and of course, hand out freebies. So it's just a great way to connect with support services while meeting with other students. As we move on to the winter, the Triton Transfer Hub hosts a Storyteller Scholarship. This is a creative opportunity where transfer students can share their experience throughout art, writing, and literally any art forms of storytellings. And the theme is surrounding resilience. And selected students will receive a $1,000 scholarship and also recognition for their work on our website and also in our office. And finally, going into the spring quarter, we'll celebrate our your accomplishment at the transfer grad. This event is a chance to gather with other fellow transfer, take photos, and recognize all the hard work that went into completing your journey at UC San Diego.
So yeah, well, first I'll go more into detail on the week 0 events coming up. If you're joining on a computer, feel free to scan that QR code to look at the events in more detail. And if you're joining on your phone, you're able to check all of this stuff out on our website as well. So the first one I will talk about is going to be the Upper Division Transfer Social. This is going to happen on Tuesday, September 23rd from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Canyon Vista West Raya Lawn. You can stick around and hang out and meet all campus and new student stuff. I'm sorry. It's a social where you can get to meet some.
Yeah, after our event is over, UC campus as a whole, for new students, both transfer and first year, will host a mixer. on campus for you to actually get to meet UCSD faculty. So if you're commuting to campus, stick around for that event as well. And that's not our event, so Cam's not an expert, and that's not on Cam. That's hosted by UCSD itself.
I just know there's going to be like 500 people or something, but yeah, you got it. Go out and mingle, guys. The next one will happen on Thursday. This is going to be where you're able to join the undergraduate colleges and the Triton Transfer Hub for an all college transfer social. As I said, that'll be Thursday, September 25th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Hump, which is by main gym. And it's also close to another restaurant. This is just a cool time to meet some more Triton transfers and enjoy some tacos and agua fresca, all for free. And then our next event that's actually coming up will be on Friday. And if you have no clue on how to navigate campus and you want to meet even more transfer students, UCSD Art Power will be hosting a transfer-only interactive campus clue sessions from on the 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. on Friday, September 26th. I looked into this. It's actually pretty cool. If you ever played the game Clue, it's like that, but in real time, in real life, all over campus. Thank you.
So we also host a variety of programs throughout the year, and these are really intended to support you all throughout this next year.
So this is actually our last STEP event, and even though STEP has come to an end, all the notes and recordings are still available through this QR code. Feel free to take the time to scan this QR code, or you can go to our website and go to the STEP recap section, and you will be able to find all the notes. This is very helpful in terms of catching up or exploring different topics and resources offered at UC San Diego. So please take your time to explore the recap page that we provided for you.
So we have a program called Transfers First Professional Opportunities and Development Support, also known as Transfer First Pods, which is a collaboration with the Triton Transfer Hub and Triton First to provide first generation transfer students like with professional development funds. And this was also known as the Transfer Promise. And you basically attend academic and research events and meet with staff to receive professional development funds. And these funds can kind of go towards to like conference attendance, professional associations, or just classes are booked towards grad school prep. And for some of the topics we do discuss, it's on a quarterly basis. Some are more so like career development, some are adulting, and it could be research and experimental learning opportunities as well.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the tech difficulties with my mic. It is an ongoing battle, but I will win it one day. We have the pleasure of chatting about Career Launch, and it's an amazing 4-week program hosted during spring quarter by our staff. And it really is just an opportunity to get you all more prepared for going into the professional realm. And so within Career Launch, it's usually like a cohort-based model, so you will be with other transfer students, and there will be opportunities to like really explore different career fields. I know there's so many career options out there, and it can feel really overwhelming, and so that is a really big focus, making sure that you kind of have those resources and things available to understand what career path you want to go down. And it's also an amazing opportunity to establish relationships and really build that networking and professional development by connecting you with professionals. So we do a lot of networking support in terms of helping you send professional emails and do that kind of outreach that feels really scary. It's so much easier to do it with a group of your peers, along with me and my coworker Elizabeth, who is awesome, and she will also share a little bit about what you can get from Career Launch.
Yeah, so Ali and I both co-hosted this program in winter quarter. I know it says spring quarter there, but it's actually in winter quarter. And usually the application for career launch opens up like late fall quarter, or at least late fall quarter is when we'll announce like that application is up. And it's cohort based, so like we usually have maybe like 20 student cohort to do the career launch program. And it's really nice because you also get to, it's for transfer students, so you get to like meet other transfer students, and I think that the info is really helpful too. So kind of like, yeah, Ali mentioned, right? Networking with professionals and like how to look for a job and internship search. And then also just in general, like improving your self-confidence and career prep, right? Especially if, you might, as a first gen professional as well, I know that like it could be kind of intimidating and not knowing what to say or what's accepted or what's not. So it's really helpful in kind of like building that confidence in yourself. So anyways, if you have interest in career launch program, again, follow us on our socials, or yeah, keep an eye out on like the newsletter as well. That's where we'll be announcing the application for career launch. Thank you.
Why my slides are so slow to load. So sorry, everyone. I don't remember what our next slide is to even know who to pass it to. But we are here to support you in a lot of ways, and we'll talk about that very soon. All right. I do think our first slide it's going to go to is sharing some pictures of our team. So a lot of folks that, this is our full pro staff team, and we'll go in depth about the ways that we can meet with you one-on-one. But we are beginning to so here's our pro staff team. Myself, I'm not really student facing unless you have like a severe case or something that needs to get escalated, then a peer coach or one of our other staff would escalate to me, and I'm here to be a support to you. If you ever see me around the office and you want to chat, I'm happy to talk to students. I miss being more student facing as I was in previous roles, but I won't be someone who you tap into directly. That would be the same for Juanita, who you see on the bottom here as well. She'll be at our events, and she's a huge transfer advocate. She oversees our office, undocumented student services, Student Veteran Resource Center, as well as our first gen office. So she is here and she's a resource. Know that much of the support that you're going to be receiving is going to be happening with our professional staff who are in this chat and have a slide on our next slide, as well as our student staff. But know that if ever things get tough behind the scenes, that you have more advocates who aren't just necessarily meeting with you one-on-one. And Elizabeth, tell us about how you can help.
Yes, and then I'll pass it on to Ali. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the research and involvement coordinator, and so I primarily work with transfer students. I also take one-on-one appointments, 30-minute appointments, either virtually or in person. For new incoming transfer students, you can start to book appointments with me starting fall quarter. So not quite yet. And more info on that, again, will be available in our newsletter or also on social media. I'll probably do maybe like an announcement like now bookable. But once you do get to book an appointment with me, there's some things that we can talk about. So, right, how to get involved in research. I can provide resume, cover letter support. I also do programming apart from meeting one-on-one with students. So I collaborate a lot with departments on campus, like UCDC, if you are familiar with their program, Study Abroad, the Undergraduate Research Hub too, we collaborate. So I'm closely linked to their team as well. So yeah, so I'm a resource for you. And then I'll hand it over to Ali.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Ali Shamli, and I am a transfer retention specialist with the Hub. And so I am really here to focus on helping you thrive academically and within your personal and general well-being. I am really passionate about helping you all feel adjusted and ready for the quarter system transfer shock, and that quarter system adjustment was something I had a hard time navigating when I first transferred. And so I am really here as a support system for you academically, whether that be walking through different study skills or helping you set up your quarter and get things more organized. I am super excited to meet and go over anything related to that. I do walking meetings, so even if you just want to chat about how classes are going and walk around campus, that is an option. I am also the advisor for the Tau Sigma National Honor Society. So for transfer students who receive a 3.5 GPA or higher in your first quarter, you are eligible to become a national Tau Sigma honor student. And so if you have more questions about that or how to get involved there, would love to chat about it. But yeah, I am really excited to welcome you all. Also hosting an event week 2, mapping out the quarter system. I think that is a really good way to feel less stressed if you are a little nervous about coming in. We'll be doing a full run through of how to set yourself up well so that you don't get hit super hard by midterms and things like that. But yes, we are super excited to support you in this office. And with that, I'll pass back to Tessa.
Yeah, and Allie also hosted a great event last week that's recorded and on our steps recap page, going over procrastination and some other stress techniques and study techniques in collaboration with our counseling and psychological services. So that's another great thing if you're feeling anxious about the quarter system or you're a procrastinator. I recommend checking that recording out too. All right. And then maybe the stars of the show in our office are our peer coaches. So Rion is going to tell you all about the wonderful things they do.
Yeah, so as Tessa said, we are all the peer coaches. And our big thing is really, like in my eyes, telling you what our actual experiences are. Because all of us have gone through what you guys are probably going through right now, whether it's feeling super anxious or like not knowing where to find things or being super confused. I remember my first experience being here on campus before I found the transfer hub was like so full of like fear and despair that I like wouldn't make it or like would not, get through the quarters. And like after I found the transfer hub, I felt way more confident in at least tackling that first quarter. And now I'm here and I get to tell you, and all of our peer coaches get to tell you about our experiences. So we are your biggest resources when it comes to things like resources on campus or like, hey, I need parking strategies or like, where can I find, X thing or how do I join organizations? Like we are always happy to help you, happy to, give you guys our experiences as well. And there are so many different peer coaches that cover a wide breadth of different majors. So no matter what your major is, you will always have specific support, for that as well. So we try to do as much as we can to help you out in that regard.
And as of today, our new peer coach page has gone live, which is very exciting. So Jen, who is also on this chat with us, has done a lot of work to make sure that this is looking good and ready for you. So if you scan this QR code or someone just dropped our Meet the Peer Coaches link in the chat there, you'll be able to see all the wonderful folks who are here and can begin meeting with you as of week 0. So this is our team who we have here for tomorrow and for next week. So we're gonna hop into a Q&A panel now, and any questions that you're dropping in the chat, we can talk about live and here. However, if you want support into the year, know that you'll be connected with a peer coach. By being a transfer student at UCSD, you're auto opted into being assigned to a peer coach, and they will send you weekly emails with different updates and things happening around campus, and they're also available to meet with you. People use peer coaches in different ways. I know you shared about it, Rion, but it's my favorite resource. I'm going off too. Sorry. I've run it for 3 years and I love it. But our peer coaches are also great in terms of being like an accountability buddy. If you're someone who's like, I want to go to 3 events, sometimes people will make an appointment and say like, I'm going to make an appointment with you 3 weeks from now, and I hope I do this by then. So feel free, as someone who's supervised the peer coaching program for years, peer coaches usually like their favorite part of the job is when someone comes back and like gives them the scoop or did the thing. So never feel like a bother as you're making repeat appointments. We love to see you back in our space. But that's the end of our presentation. Here's all the ways that you can connect with us. And then we know that you might have a lot of burning questions at this time. So we'll start with that. Our first question I see in the chat is a really good one. Someone's going to be commuting to campus and they want to know what's the best way to get here. So in our chat, we have Cameron and Rion and On, who are all commuters to campus. Jen, you walk 10 steps, so I can't ask you this question. It's really nice to live on campus, but can our commuters share some of the tips and tricks that have made you successful? And then if you're still here, feel free to ask your questions in the chat.
Yeah, I can kind of cover the driving section of it first. So my first year, every single quarter, I was here Monday through Friday, and I had to drive. And I live one exit away from the border, so it's pretty hefty commute. My advice, if you simply have no other option but to drive, is to wake up early. Generally for me, when I was doing it, I had to wake up before 5:30. So like I'd probably be up 4:35 a.m., leave the house by 5:30, get to campus around 6. Because all the parking structures here fill up by that time, if not earlier, because there's other people trying to do the same thing. So unfortunately, you do have to get up early, but that does guarantee you like a spot. So I would definitely say to do that, wake up early and get there early, and also try to find a parking structure that is the closest to where you need to be. For example, like if you're going to, trying to think, like if you're trying to do something in Pepper Canyon Hall, there is a parking structure right next to it, Gilman. Or if it doesn't have like the specific spots, like if there's no S spots, there are plenty of parking lots and parking structures on campus that you can find through. We also have it's called maps.ucsd.edu that will literally give you specifics on where spots are, what passes they're for, and all that stuff. But wake up early. That's my tip.
I can go next. You did cover a lot of good tips. What I did was I parked in a station nearby. So UCSD provide you free MTS and also like all public transportation pass for free. So utilize that, park somewhere outside of campus and use public transportation to get to campus. So for me, I park at Nobel Drive Station. They had the fourth and fifth floor park for free if you use the MTS. So if you want to try and explore the Nobel Station, there are a lot of food spot there. So I don't think it's a bad place to park.
Also free. Something Rion didn't mention is that each day that you park on campus as a student, you're also paying $5 or $6.
$6.
$6 per day. So by parking in a station spot like On's mentioning, you do get a free option that way. So those are two great routes to take. Anyone else? Oh, go ahead.
Ooh, sorry. I am a commuter myself as a staff member, but I think there can be some like nervousness around commuting, and I think there can actually be a lot of benefit to like, not going to lie, San Diego does get hefty traffic, especially like after 4 p.m. when like the after work rush hits. I think there can be a lot of ways to use that to your benefit to like stay on campus a little longer and plan out that study time and like just study in those hours to like wait out traffic. And I think that can be really beneficial. That's what I did when I was a commuting student. And so, and that's also a great time to get involved in clubs and extracurriculars. There's a lot of clubs that meet after like the what is it, like 8 to 4 p.m. class schedule. And so I think being a commuter can be a little bit nervous at first, but there are really good opportunities to use that to your benefit as well for getting involved in studying. So there are good things for commuters as well. And there's also commuter clubs. I think we're trying to revamp some of those too.
Yes. And then if you're also commuting and bringing food onto campus, we and a couple other spaces on campus have refrigerators and microwaves. So we get to know some of our commuter students really well because they'll come into our space and heat their lunch every day. And sometimes we'll come and sit in the hall with them. So it's always special when we have regulars. So if you're also like, where do I put lunch? How do I heat up lunch? Maybe you don't want to spend $14 a day on crouton salad every day. That's a good way to go. We have someone asking a follow-up question on MTS, and someone else is saying, where can you park for free? So those are kind of duplicate. Will, you mentioned parking in those trolley stations. Can you go a little bit more in depth on what that is? And then safety, I guess in terms of question, do you feel safe parking there, or is it, can you bet that there's gonna be spots?
Great question. I only park at Nova Station. So I can only so my experience would only apply to Nova Drive Station. I would say it is pretty safe there, but sometimes, especially during midterms or final week, the spots can fill up very quickly, especially like in 7 or 8 in the morning. So just make sure to arrive early during those durations of the quarter. But also, don't park at the shopping mall slots because a lot of people got their car towed away and with like huge tickets, like I think a few $100 ticket. So keep that in mind.
And then Cameron, you'd done a similar thing too, but not from Nobel. Is there another stop where you've kind of frequented and parked at for trolleying?
Yeah, I actually know someone that lives right next to the UTC station. That's the end of the blue line. Um, I haven't parked there myself when coming to campus. I do know at the mall, UTC, it is going to be 2 hours for free, but I don't know if there's a maximum or if you hit a certain amount of hours, they start charging you a flat fee. So take that with a grain of salt. But if you know you're going to be on campus for like half an hour max and it's like by the station, you could probably go there. Um, I would say UTC might be the safest out of all the trolley stops. I haven't parked at the other ones, but because it's paid to get in and there's like it's a mall and there's like security and like cameras everywhere. That might be your safest bet if you wanted to try and park there, but personally I haven't used it before.
Those are the end of the questions y'all have asked, so please feel free to keep dropping them in the chat as you'd like. One question that we get a lot, one question that we get a lot is, what was one thing you wish you knew going into week 0 or week 1?
I would say like the club fair that is on Library Walk is such a great opportunity to kind of just explore like clubs and organizations, and you get to interact with the members itself and kind of learn more about their clubs and organizations. That's kind of where I found my dance club. And it's kind of like a fun way to interact and also get to meet fellow transfer students that also have the same kind of interest as you. But definitely check it out during week 0.
I would say something I regret not doing was not saying yes to a lot of amazing like events happening on campus during week 0 because I was commuting. So I mainly, as a habit from SDSU, I mainly just go to school and then go home. But because of that, I did miss out a lot of great events to make friends and know more about different orgs on campus. So make sure to, get involved, get yourself out there, and say yes to opportunity.
Someone asked about what day is that club, the club day, that goes for like the first couple of weeks, right? That's just constantly ongoing. And then we have 2 people asking about student resident or what to do if you live on campus to bring your car. So as of last year, student residents on campus need specialty approval in order to bring their car on campus. There are specific reasons listed in the appeal that you file. So it's like if you have a job that's not off the public transportation line, if you or a family member living nearby have something going on with health that you need frequent access to doctor's appointments, that's how you would get approval for having your car on campus. But UCSD's policy is that no one who lives on campus can have their car on campus. So there is an appeal form that exists. As we keep asking questions, I will go ahead and find that link for you and drop that in the chat because I do see a couple folks are asking about that. But the assumption is that if you're living on campus, you're not allowed to have your car unless you have specialty approval. As I work on that, would one of you mind sharing about the pass, that the transit pass that you all have, and how to activate that? How you get free trolley access? I can't remember the name of the pass.
UPass.
It's called
The UPass.
UPass. Thanks, Elizabeth. Yay. Okay, UPass. Someone talk us through UPass.
Yeah, so it's on the Pronto app. If you go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store or whatever mobile device you have, if you type in Pronto, that should be the very first app that should come up. You don't have to type in well, you should probably type in San Diego, but Pronto San Diego, and it's gonna be this purple. Oh, it doesn't work. It's gonna be a purple app that says Pronto in blue letters. From there, you would have to make an account with your student email. The way that the university has set it up is as soon as you make an account with the Pronto using your student email, it should give it to you automatically. And for whatever reason, if it doesn't, you would have to manually do it. There's a whole process to do that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did make a video on that. I just have to find it. And then if that doesn't work, you have to email I forgot the email too, but it's part of Triton UCSD. You have to email them and then they'll give you access to the Pronto for free.
And Rion just shared that in the chat. If you're trying to access UPass right now, it doesn't activate until week 0. Maybe the week before that, but if you're trying to access it now and you're getting an issue, it's because you haven't actively enrolled in classes. And that's because your tuition, it's free to you to use, but that's because your tuition is paying for it. So that it only is active for you in quarters where you're actively enrolled. So that should activate probably around September 12th to 16th. Once you log in with your student pass, you'll see the option to add it to your cart for free. And if it's not working, wait until closer to the year starts to reach out, because I know over summer people ask a lot, but it's because you're not enrolled in summer coursework. Other questions for folks? I guess I'll ask the question as I continue to look for different things here. How would you all, I guess, in terms of kind of balancing out your first quarter or your first year, how did you balance kind of classes and starting to get involved? Did you do less classes your first quarter? Did you hop in and join all the clubs right away? Tell us a little bit about your process, and maybe that was great, or maybe you're someone who failed a lot of classes and wish you had done less. Can you walk us a little bit through your start here?
Okay, I can go. So yeah, my first quarter, I really recommend students just taking the bare minimum of 12 units, which is equivalent to 3 classes, because I didn't realize how like fast-paced the course was. Because my time at Berkeley, I was taking 5 classes, and I assumed that maybe if I were to take the same equivalency here, that it might be the same, but I realized that it was not the same. So I didn't do too well on my first year, but I was able to branch out a little bit more about being involved on campus and kind of also being able to find jobs and stuff. So eventually I kind of got the hang of it, and I started slowly adding more classes. But I did fail, I think, one class in my first like fall quarter just because of the whole adjustment. So in a way that kind of just made me understand that like I need to take it slow, and also fall quarter is kind of a time where you are experiencing a lot of changes with environment, the quarter system, and just being in a new place in general. So just like take your time with it, use it as like a grace period or like a transition period where you're able to kind of just take it easy and also be able to explore the campus and your hobbies and interests and then kind of build it on from there.
Yeah, I can kind of jump in as well and talk about my experience. So when I first got here, I was taking 12 units, but I also jumped into two student organizations in my first quarter. And that was one of the things that I wish that I would have done differently, because both of them were very time consuming, and to the point where like that did make my grades dip a little bit more than I wish they would have. Not to discourage you from joining student organizations, because I think it's amazing. Like it's an amazing opportunity for not just your like professional careers, but also just to like feel like you have a community and a home on campus, because I think that was part of what I was looking for and definitely found in the orgs that I joined. But again, like as Jen mentioned, like the time aspect is really like what will get you the most, because you will not be able to feel like the quarter system without actually like being in the courses and taking them. So if you do want to join like a student org, I would definitely say maybe just one on top of your full-time schedule, but none more than that. And it's kind of unfortunate because I think most of the recruitment does start like in the fall, and they heavily push for people to join in the fall. But again, like don't feel pressured to do so if you feel like it's a heavy, like it's going to make your schedule heavier, because there are a lot of opportunities. And I know a lot of organizations also will do applications in winter and in spring as well. So there's still a lot of opportunity if you miss out in fall.
Oh, another question just popped up. Oh, such a great audit. All right. Well, that's all the questions that I'm seeing coming in now. I'm typing a couple more questions, typing one more answer. For somebody in the chat, and someone else is answering an open question here. So I'll give it just a second. I'll go ahead and stop our recording